these echoing four walls, seated in creaky wooden pews with their small number of plaques swaying. I learned, without realizing it, to look up. Not toward the front, but toward the stained glass windows. They were never the same twice. The color shifted with the hour, the light moved, softened, intensified. What seemed still was always changing. My time at Cassidy can be told as a story, but not one written in paragraphs or preserved on a page. It is a story made of fragments of moments that on their own might seem small, but together form something complete. A story held in a pane of stained glass. The first time I sat here, I was in kindergarten. Miss B brought Kate and I to watch an 8th grader give their speech. I do not remember what they said, but I do remember the windows. I remember the way the light moved through them, the way each piece, defined by its edges, became something else entirely when the light reached it. What had seemed frigid became luminous, and what had seemed separate became whole. Even then, I was drawn to that transformation. How something unchanged in form could become something entirely different in meaning. And over the years, that question stayed with me. I found myself returning to the windows, tracing them with my eyes, following the figures in each pane, noticing how the same glass could tell a different story depending on the light. And gradually, I began to understand. There is a process to creating stained glass. It requires patience. But more than that, it requires a willingness to trust that something made of separate pieces can become something whole. A process that reflects in its own way the making of a Cassidy graduate. First, you choose your glass. Colors, textures, and pieces that draw your attention before you know why. Some are vivid and others are mellow, only revealing themselves when the light finds them. This is primary division. A time of openness, of curiosity, of beginning without needing to know the outcome. Learning how to choose your people. Then, you begin to outline what you will make. The lines are not fixed. They are redrawn over and over again. They hold possibility rather than certainty. This is lower division. A period of imagining, of forming direction while still allowing space for change. A balance between what is and what might be. Then comes the cutting. This is where expectations meet reality. The glass does not always break where you expect it to. Some pieces fracture, others resist. At times the edges are sharp. This is middle school and the beginning of high school. A period defined not by clarity, but by change. Friendships shift, identity becomes something questioned rather than assumed. Growth is no longer effortless. And yet, even here, something essential is taking place. Each break, each unexpected edge, is shaping how the glass will receive the light. Then, you begin to solder. You take what has been shaped and begin to connect it. The work becomes deliberate, more permanent, and at times, it burns. For me, this was junior year. I tried to hold too much together at once. I forced pieces into places where they did not belong. I expected more of myself than I was ready to carry. And in doing so, I burned myself. But what that experience revealed was not failure, but perspective. Sometimes the most necessary step is to pause, to allow space for the work to take shape as it should. Because mistakes are not flaws. They are part of the structure. A smooth surface reflects light, but a fractured one refracts it, transforms it into something more complex and more alive. And that is where the beauty lies. Senior year became an opportunity to hold the piece to the light. Not an ending, but a recognition. What has become clear to me is this. The moments that matter most are the ones that ask only that you are present. Playing golf alongside my friends who challenge and support me. Singing along to the music a little too loud in the car. Sitting at tables talking for longer than planned. And laughing at AP Spanish and PT in our class. Moments that feel small as they happen, but remain long after. And when I look at what has taken shape, I realize I was never mine to build alone. I was shaped by Chloe, whose support for me never wavered. By Parker, whose questions refused easy answers. By Haya, whose singing, just the beeper included, made everything feel lighter. By Amal, whose humor found its way into every moment. By Sully, whose listening carried a unique understanding. By Arad, whose whose faith remains steady and sure. By Isaac, whose teaching was marked by intention and care. By Denzel, whose honesty demanded deeper thought. And by Faith, whose laughter made even the simplest moments endure. Each of them a piece, and many more. Each of them a part of how the light moves through what I've become. I have grown within this chapel, within these walls, beneath these windows, that have taught me, long before I understood it, what it means to receive something as it is, and allow it to become something more. And as I prepare to leave this place, I carry not just the pieces I've gathered, but an understanding of what to do with the light. It will come in moments I expect and in moments that I do not. And each time, there will be a choice, to let it pass through unchanged, or to shape it. Because it is not the moment itself that defines us, it is what we make of it. So create your stained glass. Choose with care. Allow yourself to change. Let things break and learn how to rebuild them. But most of all, when light reaches you, let it pass through in a way that reveals something true. Because the most beautiful thing that you can become is not something that simply holds together, but something that takes whatever it is given and turns it into something that shines.